Every year, in the same months, across thousands of farms across this continent, Africa, the same thing happens. Goats lose weight, sheep lose condition. Some don't make it at all. And every year, farmers say the same thing. It is the dry season. What can I do? That sentence right there is the single most expensive sentence in smallholder livestock farming, because here is the truth. The dry season is not killing your animals. It is not the dry season that is responsible for your animals not gaining weight, your animals aborting, or your animals not converting feed to muscle and flesh. You are, not out of cruelty, out of habit, out of assumption, out of a management system that was never designed for this season, the dry season. And today, we are going to change that. Most people understand the dry season as a water problem, the dry season as a heat problem, the dry season as a season where there is limited feed for their animals. It is not. It is a protein collapse season. Here is what is actually happening inside your animal's body, whether goats or sheep. During the wet season, green grass carries between 12 and 18% crude protein. That is enough to maintain body weight, grow muscle, and produce milk. When the dry season arrives, that same grass standing in your field looking like feed has dropped to below 4% crude protein, 4%, from 12 to 18% to now 4%. Same grass, reduced moisture content, reduced crude protein percentage. And here is what your goats and sheep need just to maintain body weight, not to grow, not to produce, just to survive. At least 10 to 12% crude protein every single day. So your animals are grazing for 8 hours, especially those of us using semi-intensive system. Your animals are out there from between 8 a.m. in the morning and come back around 6 p.m. in the evening to graze. So they are eating, their stomachs are full, but nutritionally, they are starving. That is not a drought or dry season problem. That is a nutrition gap problem. And nutrition gaps have solutions. So how do you close a 6 to 8% protein gap when the land gives you nothing? You engineer your own feeding system, and I am going to show you exactly how. First, you upgrade your crop residue. Do not just dump them. Maize stover, granite hulls, soybeans residue, beans husk. Most farmers throw these at their animals raw and walk away. That is like handing someone a locked suitcase full of cash and no key. The nutrients are there. Your animals just cannot access them. Smart farmers take the necessary steps to upgrade the crop residues and the general feed they use to feed their animals in the dry season to make sure that their animals are having enough crude protein to maintain and improve their body condition. And I'll teach you these steps. Step 1, chop crop residue, whether it's maize stover, granite hulls, soybeans residue, cassava peels, yam peels. Chop these feed to about 2 to 3 inches pieces. Step 2. This step is actually optional. You can choose to mix with dosa or maize bran or not. That is step 2. You can choose to mix, the chopped residue with maize bran or not. Step 3, very, very important. Mix a reasonable amount of salt with water and sprinkle over chopped maize stover, granite hulls, soybean residue, yam peels, cassava peels, or dried grass that you have cut. Sprinkle with enough water or enough salt water, not to drench it, but to soften it. I repeat, enough salt water, not to drench it, but to soften it. This single process, chop, mix, moisten, increases the digestibility of that residue by up to 30%, which means your goats, your sheep are able to now easily digest what they are eating by up to 30%. So this is same material, 3 times more nutritional value extracted, whilst it will likely gain about 30 or below 30% of the total nutrient level of the dumped stover, Once you take it through this process, it's likely to get up to about 90 to 99% of the nutrient content of these residues. That is not magic. That is rumen biology. This is why they are called ruminants, because of the vital role played by their rumen. And once you let your food undergo through this process, it enhances rumination and increase the productivity and digestibility of the raw food by 30%. The second strategy, Moringa. This plant is your dry season protein bank. If there is one thing most farmers in this region are sleeping on, it is Moringa. Moringa leaves carry about 27% crude protein on a dry matter basis, whilst most vegetation and pasture are losing to about 4% of total crude protein. Moringa is able to retain up to about 27%, a whopping 27% crude protein, even when it's dry. Let me put that in perspective. Soybean meal, the gold standard of livestock protein, carries about 44%. Moringa is more than half of that, and it grows on your farm, in the bush, in your fence line. Moringa grows on soil that nothing else survives in. And the dose is really simple. 200 to 300 grams of fresh moringa leaves per animal per day works for you. That alone can close a significant portion of your protein gap. Whilst other farmers are allowing their animals to go around feeding on dry grass, you are able to supplement with cheap moringa leaves that provide them with up to 27% of crude protein. So how do you feed moringa leaves? Cut it, wilt slightly in the shade for 2 to 3 hours before feeding. This reduces any bitterness and improves palatability for your animals to actively feed on it. If you don't have moringa on your farm, consider planting moringa this year. Don't say next year, do it this year. And another way that can help you feed your animals with moringa leaves is to actually mix it with dosa or any of the feed that you have available, because goats and sheep have the tendency to get used to some feed, and because of that they don't want to eat it again. For instance, you give them moringa today, moringa tomorrow next, they might get tired of it and they will not like to eat it. So what you can do is that instead of giving them moringa every day, you can also crush them and mix them with dosa and probably sprinkle with water and salt, just like we said previously. Adding salt makes it palatable for animals to feed on. Strategy number 3, using molasses and mineral salt lick. One of the most underestimated component of feeding is molasses. Most farmers still don't understand the importance of molasses in their animal feeding. The same can be said for mineral salt lick. In fact, molasses and mineral salt lick is the technique used by serious livestock producers across the world. This is what separates between serious livestock farmers, professional livestock farmers, and livestock farmers who just see livestock farming as a hobby. When you come to our region, it is almost entirely unknown at the smallholder level in this region. When molasses is mixed with animal feed, it makes the feed very sweet, palatable, and it also provides energy for the animals. And mineral salt lick provide essential micronutrients that are absent in the general feed of goats and sheep. So you mix molasses with your feed and you provide mineral salt lick for your animals to lick. So they lick it voluntarily throughout the day, slowly, and absorb the micronutrient available in the mineral salt lick. In controlled studies across sub-Saharan Africa, animals given access to these blocks during the dry season maintain body condition scores between 1 to 1.5 points higher than control animals. This means that on a scale of 1 to 5, if your animals are being provided with molasses and mineral salt lick, you have the tendency to increase their weight gain by 1 to 1.5 points. In context, a farmer that has adopted strategy 1 and strategy 2 but have not adopted molasses and mineral salt lick, which is strategy 3, will have the body score of his goats or sheep counting 1 to 1.5 less than a farmer that actually provides molasses and mineral salt lick. So for instance, if you are farmer A and you adopt strategy number 1 and strategy number 2 without adopting strategy number 3, you have lost a potential body mass increase of 1 to 1.5. So whilst farmers who adopted all three strategies are getting their body score to about 3.5 to 4.5, you will still be around 2.5 to 3. Enough for your animals to be okay, but not enough for them to look in very good shape, to be in an excellent shape that almost every farmer dreams for. The shape that gives you more value in the market, and more value means more money. I want to be very well understood here. In case you don't understand this point, kindly comment below, give me your concerns, and I will make a detailed response to you specifically. You can get pure molasses, highly effective mineral salt lake that will change your flock, and ear tags from Farm North. Also, if you need breeding stock, we deliver based on pre-order, and we use between 10 to 14 days to source quality and deliver to wherever you are. And our prices are standard. Now, I want to give you a tool that most smallholder farmers have never used before, but every serious livestock operation in the world uses it. It is called Body Condition Scoring, BCS. The idea is simple. Instead of waiting until your animal looks thin to then act, you feel your animal's backbone and their ribs every 2 weeks. You press their ribs and their backbone every 2 weeks and assign a score from 1 to 5. Now, this is how the scores translate. Score 1, it means your animal is severely underweight. Their backbones and ribs are sharp and prominent. When you see this, you have to make an immediate intervention. Now, score 3, this is ideal. It means ribs can be felt with firm pressure and animal is well covered. Score 5, once your animal is scoring 5 based on how you feel when you are pressing their ribs and their backbone, it means they are obese. Remember, you don't want your animal to also be obese, because especially for females, once they are obese, they cannot conceive. And even the males, when they are obese, they cannot cross. You want the body score of your animal to be between 3 to 4. So why should you adapt these strategies? You see, you want your animals going into dry season at a BCS of between 3 to 4. You also want them exiting dry season at no less than 2.5. But if you are watching your animals drop from 3 to 4 and then to 1, and you did not even know, well, that is not dry season problem. That means you lack sufficient information, or you have the information and you lack putting information to practice. If you are new to this channel and you find this information helpful, you might consider subscribing, following, sharing, liking, and commenting your concerns on Farm North. Until we meet again, bye for now.